Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK. Back at you with another video here to bring the 12 game NBA main slate on Wednesday. This one's going to be crazy, but before I get into the video, if you guys are new to the channel, my name's DK. I make daily videos and live stream for NBA and NFL slates on Draftkings. If you're unable to watch these YouTube videos, I also upload on Apple Podcasts. I have a link down below. It's called the DKDFS Show. If you guys are interested in signing up for premium content, I offer that on patreon.com, an esports package, which includes Call of Duty and CSGO. And we got CSGO slates every day. Call of Duty slates usually 4 times a week. We got Call of Duty coming up on Thursday. And then I also offer an NBA package for those that are big into the NBA. I'm assuming most viewers, since you're watching this video, are NBA fans. And I do want to thank Prize Picks for sponsoring this episode. If this is your first time watching these videos or you're not familiar with what Prize Picks is, so the idea is they will post players and fantasy scores, and what you do is you will take over/under on these fantasy points. And these will move throughout the day. If you see one that you think is either too high or too low, you should hop on it right then, because again, these will move. You can mix and match sports. They have second half contests. Like for now, they have second half contests posted for the games going on right now. Again, they got the full games for tomorrow. They got MLB. They got esports. Like I said, you can mix and match sports. And the good thing is, it's a nice change of pace, right? So you're not playing against anyone. You're just playing against the house. If you guys want to try it out, you can sign up. You can go DKDFS. DKDFS, all one word, link in the description below. You will get a 100% match up to $100. You put $100 in, you get $200 to play with. And finally, I just want to thank you guys again for the continued support. If you guys do enjoy this content, if you leave a like button on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, closing in on 9,000 subscribers, hoping to hit that by the end of the month. And hit the notification bell so you know when I upload videos, you know when I go live. Again, I will be doing YouTube live stream tomorrow. This one's going to be crazy, so you should probably check out the live stream. We hit almost 400 concurrent viewers today, so thank you guys again. And if you could leave a like button, let's aim for 150 likes on this video. All right, enough of that. Let's talk about this slate. I guess real quick, we can look back at my lineup here from Tuesday's slate. So Tuesday, we'll see how it goes. I went with a game stack of Minnesota Sacramento. Right now, the game is 51-49, just starting the second quarter. So I think I picked the right game to stack. Maybe not necessarily the right pieces. We have Ant-Man going off. I'm not complaining for my best ball team. We have D-Lo going off. But yeah, let's go over my lineup. So Kyrie, DeLon Wright, Dwayne Bacon, McDaniels, DeAndre Jordan, De'Aaron Fox, Mo Harkless, and Karl Anthony Towns. I can get out of the way so you guys can see. So, Kyrie Irving had probably the worst first half I've seen with everyone out. I think he had like 10 fantasy points. He salvaged the day going for a huge second half and finishing with 47 fantasy points. Again, with Kevin Durant, with James Harden out, I thought Kyrie was an optimal spend up. Just a little bit unfortunate he had a awful first half. Dwayne Bacon was a chalk value play that busted. This is why I don't like playing this guy, right? He doesn't do anything else besides score the ball. He was 60% owned in high dollar, only went for 15 fantasy points. Again, this is why I don't play Dwayne Bacon. The issue was it kind of forced you on the stars and scrubs build with this slate, so you had to play a few value guys you didn't really want to. The two that I really didn't want to play were like Bacon and then obviously McDaniels. But I just went with it for the full game stack. DeAndre Jordan was all right. He only played 21 minutes. Thought he might play a little bit more, but went for 18.5 fantasy points. Again, not bad under 4K. And then he used De'Aaron Fox as a contrarian spend up to pair with Karl Anthony Towns with Mo Harkless for value. Again, I just want full game stack. I talked about this in the Patreon live stream. I was like, hey, I think optimal build is probably you go Kyrie and Paul George since Kawhi Leonard is out. But yeah, that's all I got, guys, for the look back. We'll see how it finishes. I mean, if the Sacramento-Minnesota game continues to be played at this fast of a pace, we'll see. Maybe I can get into cash against DeLon Wright. Great start, 15 fantasy points in the first 5 minutes on the court. So I am not complaining at all about that. Real quick though, I will give you guys an update on best ball. So best ball right now, currently in first. I think it's basically a 2-man race with me and Squirrel Patrol. Everyone else, I'm not sure if they have the ability to to catch me, a couple of guys are dealing with some injuries. I think all three of the guys at the bottom have Jimmy Butler, who missed that game today or yesterday. But yeah, so looking at my build right now, again, LeBron James, obviously you guys know is still out, and Kawhi Leonard out at least a week. You have got to be kidding me. So my forwards are going to be rough, right? I have Draymond, Clark, and then like Norman Powell and Robert Covington. Right? I really needed a Kawhi to play, so Kawhi not playing does hurt. But yeah, right now currently in first without my top two players. If I can advance without LeBron and Kyrie again, or LeBron and Kawhi again, I don't really know what I'm going to do, right? Because I last week, I basically advanced without my top four players. I was like, I don't even know how that happened. But all right, so I just wanted to give you guys a quick update on that for those of you guys who are interested. Okay, so we have is it only 3 of the 12 games out right now? Yeah, 3 of the 12 out right now. Bulls and Cavs at 212 over under. The Bulls are 1.5 point favorites. Warriors and Wizards at 239.5 over under. The Warriors 2 point favorites, and Jazz Rockets at 227.5 over under. The Jazz 11 point favorites. So we'll start off with Chicago and Cleveland. On the Chicago side, still no Zach LaVine. Kobe White at 5.6K. I think is a fair play in the mid-range. 33, 30, and 30 minutes the last 3 games. 45, 25, and 38 fantasy points. So, without LaVine on the court, right, Kobe White has to do a lot more. I think he's a pretty decent play at his price. Vucevic at the top is a fine contrarian spend up. I think I prefer other stars in a little bit better matchups. Daniel Tice at 3.8, I think is in play for value. The issue is the minutes have been a little bit inconsistent, right? Some games will play only like 20. Some games will push closer to 30. If he plays close to 30 minutes, he'll probably have a really good day. If he only plays about 20, then maybe not so much, right? So that's kind of the tricky part with Tice right now. And then it pains me to say, but Temple's viable. Last 3 games, 25, 28, 31 minutes. I do not like playing this guy. He's a low usage player, but assuming he starts again, I think we get similar minutes of like 25 to 30, and he is viable on this one. On the Cleveland Cavaliers side, so the top 4 guys with Sexton, Allen, Garland, Love, all viable in a good matchup. I think point per dollar, maybe Garland and Love look the best. Garland at 6.8K, he's been pretty consistent. Like I'll give him credit. Last 5 games, like 56, 32, 37, 36, 38, 47, 38, right? So he's kind of showing that floor with a little bit of an upside. It's a good matchup. Normally, like Cleveland guards, I don't really like targeting, but hey, I could get behind Garland on the slate. And then Kevin Love at 6.5 should get about 30 minutes, probably close to a double-double. Would wish he was a little bit cheaper, but I think those two are at least in play. Not my favorite options, so. Golden State and Washington, Steph Curry at the top, again, just on fire. And this is one of the best possible matchups. He should play 35-plus minutes. I mean, right now, Steph is kind of the scary fade. The issue I have with Steph is what happens when he doesn't have a really good shooting game, right? We've seen, like, he does have a floor of, like, 30-ish fantasy points. So, like, the floor is still there with Steph. We just haven't seen it from him in a while. So, but, again, it is kind of a scary fade against Washington, who play no defense. And Draymond Green, yes, I'm sure if you guys watch my, content, I have a Draymond Green problem. I like him basically every single slate. I like him again. He's been so up and down. I don't get it. For a guy that, like, stuffs a stat sheet, for him to be so inconsistent is just weird. But this is, again, super up-tempo game. He got in foul trouble last game against Philly, so only played 31 minutes. I could see like a vintage triple-double from Draymond Green here going for like 40, 50 plus. So do have some interest in Draymond in the mid-range. Wiggins, Oubre, Kevon Looney has been playing some pretty solid minutes, 28, 26, 34 the last 3 games. Washington does like having a traditional center out there, so maybe we get similar minutes of like 25 to 30 for Looney, which I think makes him a fair value play because of the matchup. On the Washington Wizards side, it's the top 2 guards like it normally is for Washington. Westbrook, Beal. Westbrook way safer. Again, he's basically just going to get you a triple-double every single slate. Good matchup here. Golden State plays no defense. This game you can 100% stack, so really like Westbrook. I think Brad Beal, even at 9.4, is in play. I would say now at this price point, more of a tournament play for me, but both guards viable. And then Gafford at 3.9, and he's been phenomenal. They should be playing this guy more, but it seems they're comfortable just giving him like 15 to 18 minutes, which at the moment just kind of makes him a GPP only play. All right, Brooklyn and Toronto. So Brooklyn is, once again, going to be pretty short-handed. Harden, I know he had a setback. I think Kevin Durant is already, who's ruled out for the game today. I don't think he plays for this game. We'll have to see. Assuming Kevin Durant is out, I think Kyrie Irving is once again a really solid spend-up. I know he had a really bad start, but again, he's just a guy that's going to get all the shot attempts up. So would really like Kyrie at the top. And the secondary options, Bruce Brown, Jeff Green, Landry Shamet, all in play here. Now, the prices did come up a bit, but the game today, Jeff Green hit an amazing game for Jeff Green standard. In 33 minutes, 15, 9, and 6. Shamet started in 33 minutes, went for 18, 8, and 1. And then Bruce Brown came off the bench, got a double-double, 11 and 11. So I think all three of those Brooklyn guys are viable. Now, can we expect that type of production? Probably not. But again, someone's got to score the ball besides Kyrie Irving. So like Green, Shamet, Bruce Brown, all in play at their respective prices. Blake Griffin even had a good game off the bench. My concern is they might rest him here because he's rested. I don't even know if he's played a back-to-back yet for the Nets. So that is the slight concern. Like if Blake Griffin rests, DeAndre Jordan is like their only big besides like Alize Johnson. So like if Blake Griffin rests, then I'd like DeAndre Jordan again at 4K because I think he has to play minutes. So yeah, that's my thoughts there for Brooklyn. And the Toronto side, I mean, this team has just been such a frustrating team for DFS. They're resting everyone, and now literally everyone is in. Like, what? The secondary options are all way priced up from a lot of those guys are out, so I just have no interest in any of these guys. With the top three, Siakam, Van Fleet, Lowry, I mean, will we get normal minutes, right? I played Van Fleet that last game, and he only played 23 in a close game. I don't know what to make this Toronto team. It's a 12-game slate. It is a really good matchup. I'm just not convinced these guys play normal minutes. I'm probably going to stay away. If I had to pick one of the main three for Toronto, it would be Lowry since he's the cheapest. But again, I'm not fully convinced they get their 35-plus minutes like they have been normally this year. OKC and the Indiana Pacers. So Lou Dort is currently questionable. If Lou Dort plays, you can go there in tournaments. It is a good matchup, but he has just been shooting out of his mind. Like, I don't know what has gotten into Lou Dort. 65, 44, 41 fantasy points last games. I will continue to fade even if he plays, but hey, if you want to ride that hot streak, I'm not going to talk you off him. As far as the other plays, so if Lou Dort misses, I think a guy like Kenrich Williams, who Cubs in play for value, he played 35 minutes and started last game. So I think it's the biggest boost if Lou Dort is off the court. 4.9K in a good matchup. I do have some interest in Kenrich Williams. And then like the secondary plays like Baisley, Pokuševski, Maladon are all fine options to a good matchup. I will mention Tony Bradley without Isaiah Roby has played 23, 20, and 20 minutes the last 3 games. So minutes trending down a bit for Moses Brown, trending up a bit for Bradley. I think he's a fair value. On the Pacers side, so got to tilt a little bit about this. Brogdon, with both those guys out, shoots 5 of 20. But the good thing is he shot awful, 5 of 20, and still went for 38 fantasy points. This is a fantastic matchup. Both teams obviously are shorthanded with the Thunder and now the Pacers. I really like Brogdon at that price, and he should get all the shots up he wants. Even LeVert at 7.6. I know he had a floor game for myself, but both these guys probably get about 35 minutes, and both should be the clear number 1 and number 2 in offense. So like them both there at the top. As far as the rest of the Pacers, so again, no Turner and no Sabonis, and Goga is questionable. If Goga plays, I think he's a good value. A little bit worried about the back injury, and he went to the locker room, I feel like 2 or 3 times that game, but keep an eye on Goga news. If he misses, I don't know what they're going to do to the starting lineup. Like, does Jakar Sampson start at the 5? He might. If he does, he's a good value. They started O'Shea Brissett. It was like, what is an O'Shea Brissett? But hey, he actually had a pretty good game in 25 minutes for 24 fantasy points. So like Brissett, Jakar Sampson, if there's no Goga, I think are for sure in play for value on the Pacers side. Phoenix and Philly, so that game went to overtime, so, Booker, Paul, Aiden all played a little bit more. The last game, the matchup's not the best here, and Phoenix in a little bit more of a balanced team. Honestly, I'm probably just going to cross this team off in a 12-game slate. I just don't know if it's worth it to get to anyone. The Philadelphia side, a little bit different. So Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris, both questionable. If they're both out, I really like Embiid at the top, just because, again, he already is the number 1, but just gets a bigger boost. Went for 60 last game against Golden State. Lost a few minutes because of the blow-up. But, yeah, I think Embiid is a really good spend-up, assuming both those guys are out. As far as the value goes, it's just weird. Philadelphia extended the bench a bit. Like, I don't know if I get to anyone. Like, Seth Curry did play 35 minutes. If I had to pick one, it would be him just off those minutes. But, again, Shake Milton, people thought he would play more, only played 20. Again, George Hill in his first game, he played a little bit. He played 18. They always, like, whenever guys are out, they always start Mike Scott. That pisses me off. I don't know why Mike Scott is in the league right now. He is completely washed. Thibault will soak up some minutes, but we know he's more out there for defense. So, like, it's just a bunch of low usage guys that will all kind of split, minutes. Not a ton else I like here. Even if Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris are out, I think it's Embiid, maybe a guy like Steph Curry, and that's it. Utah and Houston. So what we know is still no Donovan Mitchell. Gobert, his role doesn't change much with him out. The three guys I like, again, with Mitchell out, are Conley, Clarkson, Ingles. Conley and Ingles more the cash game plays. I think we get 32 to 34 minutes out of both these guys. Conley, again, has that assist floor with Mitchell off the court. He'll have the ball in his hands more. Again, Ingles will do more of the peripherals as well. So Ingles, Conley, I think are safe plays with some upside. Clarkson more of the GPP play off the bench. A little bit more reliant in the scoring, but still has upside because of this good matchup. So those three I have interest in. Bojan at 6K is playable. He's reliant in the scoring. And last guy I'll mention is Royce O'Neal. He's had a couple nice games, but historically more of a lower usage guy. He's at 4 or 5. Again, he's viable. I think I would rather get two of those other guys I mentioned, though. On the Houston side, it's not a good matchup. I think John Wall is a contrarian GPP play is really where I'm looking. I don't know if I get to anyone else on this Houston Rockets team. All right, we have 6 games left. Atlanta and New York, so not the best matchup here for the Hawks. I think Trae Young's a fine tournament play. Capella, again, he's just playing out of his mind. He didn't come back in the fourth quarter. He didn't get his normal closing shift. I think it's because it's a back-to-back. They wanted to save him a bit. If you want to go Clint Capella, I'm completely fine with that because, again, he has just been a double-double machine and putting up massive numbers. But not much else here for the Atlanta Hawks in a tough matchup. On the New York Knicks side, I think Randall at 10.2, definitely viable. Good matchup. Should play close to 40 minutes and has that triple-double upside. The rest of the Knicks are Reggie Bullock, and a guy I hate playing, but he'll play big minutes, in play for value. Nerlens Noel, I think, hovers around 25 to 30 minutes. Atlanta is a bigger front court, so I think he's actually a safer value play in the slate. And then I'm curious. I know Quickly had a really good game. How many minutes did he finish with? So I don't think it's up there yet. No, it's not. But he did play 22 the previous. Let's see. How many minutes did Quickly finish with? So Quickly played 20 off the bench. It's still it's hard to get excited about that. Derrick Rose did play 25 minutes off the bench, but he is at, where is he? He's at 5-1. So it's I don't know if I can get really excited about anyone else in the Knicks. Miami and San Antonio, it's hard to say right now. So I will say, assuming that Jimmy, Bam, and Tyler Hero are out once again, and we have Dedmon possibly out too, it's right back to Nunn, it's right back to Dragic, and even Iguodala had a massive game. 43 fantasy points in 28 minutes for Iguodala. He would be a really good play. Ariza, don't love the price on him. But yeah, if Dedmon's out, it's going to be pressure to Chua. Probably have to play all the minutes he can handle. He would become a really good value. And then they literally don't have a backup big. Actually, they might have to dust off Udonis Haslem. I'm not kidding. Udonis Haslem might have to play in this game if Dedmon and Bam are both out. Or they just use a guy like Bielitsa as a small ball 5. We'll see. But yeah, right now, assuming everyone that is questionable is out, it's Nunn, Dragic, phenomenal plays. Iguodala becomes a great value. Precious Achua becomes a phenomenal value. And I know Duncan Robinson, he had a big game last game, but he is more reliant in the scoring, so I'm not as excited about him with the price point. But yeah, Miami would be a team I would load up on if everyone that's questionable is out. If everyone that is questionable is in, there's not a ton I love. Then you can look to Jimmy at the top, but it's almost 10K price. Doesn't really stand out. So the Heat, it really just depends, right? If everyone's out, love the Heat. If everyone's in, I'm probably going to stay away. We'll talk about this more in the live stream once we get more news. On the San Antonio side, it's just a 12-game slate, tough matchup, fully healthy team. No one I have interest in. Detroit, Dallas, honestly, there's not much here on the Detroit side. They're pretty healthy. Only Killian Hayes is resting. Kojo, priced up to 5K. Sadiq Bey's priced up from, Grant and Plumlee being out. Grant and Plumlee are in, but it's there's really not a ton here. I know Frank Jackson had a pretty solid game last game, but again, this is a team that is more healthy now, or they have guys that are at least playing. There's not much here for the Detroit Pistons side. On the Dallas Mavericks side, it's Luka and Porzingis. Solid matchup here. Luka, again, last couple games gone for 63 and 61. He's a guy that, again, has the triple-double upside. So Luka, I do like at the top. Porzingis had a terrible game for me. Again, I took a shot at him. More of a GPP play, but he's still got 50-plus fantasy point upside. And I don't know if I get to anyone else. Hardaway Jr. is questionable. Maybe if Hardaway's out, slight boost to a guy like Brunson at 4-4, who, besides this game against New York, has played 30, 31, 28, 31 minutes. He's a guy that does have the triple-double upside. So I think Brunson is intriguing for value and does look even better if there's no Tim Hardaway Jr. All right, Memphis and the Clippers. So, got Ja Morant and literally 0.9% owned last game, but I was 1 point short in the high dollar tournaments of cashing. Cashing the low dollar stuff pretty easily, but yeah, thank you Jaylen Brown and Karis LeVert for that. But yeah, Ja Morant with no Jonas Valanciunas. Again, he gets a massive usage boost. And I was like, hey, we're going to get a 1% Ja that could go for 50 plus. And sure, the double overtime helped, but still, he didn't even need that. He was crushing no matter what. He just went for the ceiling game of 72. Matchup-wise is not necessarily the best, but with JV still off the court, I still like Ja Morant a good amount there for tournaments. Triple J, Dylan Brooks, both questionable. We'll see about them. Triple J, if he plays, I have no interest at that price because they'll take it easy in his minutes. I don't play Dylan Brooks either, but like if both those guys are out, then we can consider some value. Again, if you played Bane last night, you got insanely unlucky. He got in severe foul trouble, and then they just went to D'Anthony Melton in his first game, who just nuked the slate if you played him. 41 minutes, 54 fantasy points. He does have upside. Don't expect 54 again, but I do think if there's no Dylan Brooks, he's someone we can for sure look to for value. And Grayson Allen at 4.9 also played big minutes, playable, assuming there's no Brooks. Tillman's a guy that if Triple J is out once again, he's a guy that probably starts at a 5, and I would think gets around 30-ish minutes, becomes a really, really good value play. Let's see, anything else? Probably not. Like Clark's at 4K. He'll play low to mid-20s minutes. I think he's actually an all right value play. So, and then Slow-Mo will get probably about 30 minutes. We'll play more at the 4. Well, actually, no, never mind, because Brandon Clark is in. Sorry about that. I was thinking Brandon Clark was out. So, yeah, Slow-Mo not really on. Really the value, I think there's a few guys that are interesting. Assuming both Triple J and Brooks are out, I think like Allen, Melton, Tillman, Clark. You can even look to Bane if you want to get really contrarian after you burned a lot of people. The Clippers side, so unfortunately for my best ball team, I got Kawhi Leonard out at least a week. Could not catch a break. But yeah, assuming Paul George plays, there's a chance he might rest. But assuming Paul George plays, he becomes once again one of the better spin-ups of the slate. And then Marcus Morris becomes a good play in the mid-range. They started Terrence Mann actually over Luke Kennard. Also, I saw Boogie Cousins get in the rotation. I'm curious to see how many minutes he finishes with. Let me just check on that right now. Let's see where minutes are for this Clippers team. Ooh, so they're kind of spreading it out. Spreading out the bench, a 10-man rotation. Okay. So not great for DFS. They're going to run a 10-man rotation again. So, yeah, I think it's Paul George, it's Marcus Morris. I don't know if I play anyone else on the Clippers, just because if they're going to run a 10-man rotation, it kind of does hurt the upside. Denver and Portland, so Jokic is in a really good matchup at 11K. He had the massive game in double overtime, but still, again, this guy has a super high floor. I do like Jokic at the top. MPJ, a little bit too pricey now there at almost 8K. With Barton versus Gordon, you can take a shot on Barton. He had a huge game today, but he's been last slate. He's been very up and down. Rivers seems to be available too, so that kind of hurts Campazzo and Dozier. If Austin Rivers does play, I'm probably not going to anyone else on the Denver side. On the Portland side, so assuming that Lillard is once again out, I think CJ's a pretty good play just because then clear number one on offense, should play close to 40 minutes. Powell always viable for tournaments, relying on the scoring. Nurkic expected back, so that kind of takes Cantor out of play. I don't know if I get to anyone else. They've been messing with the starting lineup. They've played RJ a few times in the starting lineup. They've went Derek Jones Jr. tonight. Simons and Melo, I think, are actually decent value plays. Melo would prefer over Simons, assuming we get close to 30 minutes again from him off the bench. Again, someone's got to help CJ scoring the ball. So Melo, I actually think, is a pretty decent value play. You can go to Simons too. He's played 30 in back-to-back games, so would prefer Melo to him. Final game, Minnesota and Sacramento. So once again, I stacked the game tonight. Do I just stack it again? Do I run it back for the 12-game slate? I want to see what the minutes. Let me just check on the minutes because it's close to halftime. Let's see what's going on. It is 74 all right now. 74 all. Okay, so minutes. Anthony Edwards, 19 at half. Wow. Cat, 19. Rubio, 16. And D'Lo played 15 off the bench. Wow. Okay. On the Sacramento side, so Fox only played 12? Maybe is that because DeLon Wright had a good half? Maybe. Yeah, Fox only played 12. Did he get injured? Let me check Fantasy Labs. I know I'm doing this live, but that's really weird that Fox only played 12 minutes. Yeah, only 12 minutes for De'Aaron Fox. Okay. That's obviously not good for my lineup tonight, but all right, so And then on the King side, Barnes played 19 minutes in the first half. Whiteside did play 13 minutes. I was like, hey, I think this is a game Whiteside might have to play more. And then DeLon Wright played 13. Halliburton played 14 off the bench, so extended him a little bit. All right, so on the Minnesota side, Karl-Anthony Towns, once again, I like a good amount. Again, fantastic matchup. It's literally 74 all at half. This game's going to be fast-paced again. Anthony Edwards, and he played massive minutes in the first half, having a good game. D'Lo, if there's no minutes limit for him, and they said that they extended him a bit, it is a back-to-back, though, so I'm curious, like, does he rest? Maybe. But yeah, the top three guys from Minnesota, I think, all look pretty good. And even Rubio. Like, Rubio played... How many minutes did he play in this first half? He played 16. So, like, he's below 4.8. If Rubio's going to play over 30 minutes, he also looks like a pretty good value. You could even punt with McDaniels if you wanted to. Really, this is a game I think looks really good. On the Sacramento side, again, Fox, I don't know why he only played 12 first half minutes. That's obviously a little bit worrisome. Maybe it's just because DeLon Wright had a really good game off the, to start off the bench. But I think Fox is still in play for tournaments. Barnes, we know what Harrison Barnes is. He'll play big minutes. He's having a nice game to start. I think he's fine. Whiteside, again, the price did come up a little bit. Curious to see what he finishes with tonight. If he plays like 25 plus minutes, I think he's someone you can go to because he's such a good point per minute guy. Halliburton got really limited. The last game only 16, but is on pace for over 30 in this one. Again, don't love the price. DeLon Wright used him tonight. It looks like to be working out. Again, 23, 28, 26, and it looks like he's on pace for another like mid-20s minutes game. He's been good. So I think DeLon Wright is actually intriguing for value. And then Mo Harkless, too, at 3.5K, just because of the matchup. A lower usage guy, but I think in play because of the spot. All right, guys. That was a lot of talking, 12 games. That is going to do it for the video. So if you have been enjoying the content this far, I would really appreciate it if you have a like button on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you know when I upload videos, live. Again, I will be doing a YouTube live stream tomorrow. Make sure to check it out. 12 games. Going to be nuts. Good luck, guys, and I'll see you all tomorrow in the live stream.